What's up, Algebra 2? It's been such a long time since I've seen all of your beautiful faces. In the next couple of videos, we'll be going over graphing rational functions and then also rewriting rational functions when they are written in, oh wait, I'm pointing in the wrong direction, when they're written in this structure right here. So let's go ahead and get started. So make sure you have something to write with and a piece of paper. Okay, so for the first part of the lesson, we are given this function right here. H of x equals x minus 1 divided by x minus 2. Now, what they want us to do is to plug it into the calculator and answer the following questions. Well, my graphing calculator on my computer decided to stop working, so I just went ahead and plugged it into Desmos. So right here, you can see the red function is the one that we were given, x minus 1 divided by x minus 2. And then what I also graphed, or actually don't have graphed yet, but what I also put into Desmos is the parent function, or the reciprocal function of y equals 1 divided by x, just so that I can get a better idea of how these two functions compare, because that's how I'm going to answer that first question of what do I notice about the graph of h. Okay, so the blue function is our original reciprocal function. So we can see that the blue function and the red function look very differently, and they're on different parts of the coordinate grid, right? So here is the original blue one, that's the parent function, and here is the red one. So just comparing these two, it looks like the red function was translated to the left and also translated up. So I'm going to take this off. So here's the original one so that you guys can see. And now here's the one we were asked to graph. So just confirm that with yourselves that it was translated. I'm sorry, did I say to the left? I mean, it was translated to the right. Translated to the right and also translated up. I apologize for saying that incorrectly earlier. So again, here is the original. And here's the one we were asked to graph. It was translated to the right and it has also shifted up. So I just went ahead and took a screenshot and put that in my OneNote right here. And so what I'm going to do to answer that first part of the function is that it was translated to the right and up in comparison to y equals 1 divided by x. So that original parent function. Okay, the next thing they're asking us to do is what happens to the graph of h as x approaches 2. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just mark 2 on my grid right here. So as x is approaching the x value of 2. So here's the line of x equals 2. Okay, so I can see that my graph is behaving differently if I'm approaching it from the left versus approaching it from the right. So if I'm reading the graph from left to right, like I read a book, so if I'm starting on the left end of the graph right here at that green star, and I'm going towards that x value of 2, I notice that my graph is actually going down. So I can write that as x goes to 2 from the left, y goes to negative infinity, because my y's are going down. Whereas if I look at what my graph is doing, if I'm approaching it from the right side, so if I'm starting from the right and then going towards that x value of 2, I notice here that my y's are going up. So as x goes to 2 from the right, y goes to positive infinity. So the way that we can express this symbolically, because you will be asked to do this, is we would write this as x goes to 2. And then if we're approaching it from the left, we would put a little minus sign here. Then we say that y is going towards negative infinity. And as x goes to 2 from the right, so we're approaching it from the positive side, y is going to positive infinity. So we've gone ahead and answered this part of the question. Okay, let me clean this up a little bit. I actually want to keep this blue line here, and I'm going to turn it into a dotted line. Okay, now the graph is asking us what happens as x goes to positive infinity and negative infinity. So what's happening to my graph as I move from the center and then go to the right or go to the left? So let's kind of start from like, it looks like the graph center is like somewhere right here. Right here. So if I'm going towards the right here, it looks like this part of the graph is getting really, really close to that green line, that green solid line that I just drew in. So I'm going to make this into a dotted line right here. So that value is 1. So this has a y value. This has the equation y equals -1. So we would express that as x goes to positive infinity, your graph is getting really close. Why did I write -1? Y is getting closer to 1. Okay. Now, if we're starting from this point right here, and then we're trying to see how the graph is behaving when we move to negative infinity. So as x's get more and more negative, let's see. Okay, it looks like the graph again is approaching that y value of 1. So this time as x goes to negative infinity, we're saying that y is still getting really close to 1. And so that's how we would express symbolically that last question right there. If you need to, please pause this video, go back and rewatch any of these parts just so that we can get this comparison. And in the next part, we'll be rewriting this equation so that it looks like the transformation form that you guys studied in that Edpuzzle a couple days ago.